Hello, good afternoon. Namaste, everyone. It's me, Krishna Adhikari, all the way from Italy, Simsari, Nepal. Today, we are going to discuss about one of the concurrent issue that we all are very aware of, right? So, without any delay, let me start sharing my screen. Today, we are going to discuss about one of the content that I have prepared, and it is none other than the use of ICT for research, communication, and dissertation. All right. Today we are going to discuss about this topic. Let me start with what ICT at first. ICT is a technology that we commonly understood as information and communication technology that is today's need. It is today's need for brighter tomorrow. We need it today so that we will be able to make our today active and to know tomorrow a very brighter one. Today, ICT is very useful in all areas of everyday life, ranging from our everyday activities. Right in the morning when we want to get up on time, we put alarm in our mobile phone, in our laptop, sorry, in our mobile phone. That's also use of ICT. And apart from that one, even we schedule a meeting in different kinds of platform. That's also usefulness of the ICT. So we do this kind of use of ICT in our everyday life, in our different platform, different areas of our life, including research work also. When a person wants to become a researcher, he or she can utilize ICT tools for the research work. And these kind of ICT tools can be very useful for researcher to declare to create himself also as a researcher, because there are so many platforms that people can get into when they are capable of using ICT. Likewise, ICT is communication and dissertations of research work are easily accessible via ICT. When we use ICT in the communication, when we use ICT in dissertation of research work, we can do these two kinds of work with ease when we are capable of using ICT. So we can use ICT for communication. ICT can be used for everyday communication. At the same time, ICT even can be used for dissertation of the research as well. Likewise, we can use ICT and we can use different varieties of tools in ICT in our research work, like so for collecting data, we can use Google Form, one of the example, right? We can use all the different platform, but Google Form is one of the most commonly used online platform for collecting data. Likewise, we can analyze the data by using ICT. There are different kind of softwares like SPSS and other different platform that people can use for analyzing the data. Both qualitative data and quantitative data can be let's say, analyzed by using the software. These all things actually are possible only because of use of ICT. That's why ICT is very useful. We all need to be familiar with it. There's no any other way out, right? So let's see some of the advantages of ICT. ICT can be utilized for thesis dissertations. As I have already said you, we can utilize ICT for for our thesis dissertation so that we would be able to find out different kinds of ideas, different kinds of research works and their the literatures, their data analysis, methodology, everything can be conducted by using ICT so that we would be able to make our research work stronger, valid, and reliable. Likewise, there are so many different ICT platforms that are available for our use. We can use so many different platforms of ICT that are given for us that would provide us enough platform for our better research work. Likewise, it is immensely helpful. When we use ICT wisely, it is immensely helpful. For our research work, it's helpful. For our everyday life, it is helpful. For our academic purpose, it is helpful. That's why using ICT in our academic field, in our research field, in our everyday life, it always will be wise. It always will be helpful. Uh, Another advantage that we can get from ICT is it optimizes the use of resources. When we talk about ourselves being as a researcher, our major purpose should be finding the resources for our research work. And when we are able to find out as many research work as possible for our study, it always will be beneficial for us so that we would be able to make use of those resources and validate our research work. make our research work more reliable, more valid. Another advantage that we can get from ICT is the time. So when you use ICT, it saves our time. When we didn't have ICT, if we didn't have ICT, we should have gone into different libraries for finding the books, different libraries for finding our informations, our resources, and our secondary data or other different required materials. And we might have to spend hours and hours, days and weeks to find out different informations. But now, with the help of ICT, we can find out all these informations in a short period of time. That's why ICT saves our time. Likewise, we can use AI. AI is today's world. We all have been using it. AI means artificial intelligence. We can make use of AI only when we are capable of using ICT. If we are unable to utilize ICT, we may not be taking the advantage. We may not be able to utilize AI for our research work, right? AI can be very helpful for our research work. It's a tool that we all need to use. So tools are always been made for our easiness of our work, and we can utilize AI as well for our research work, right? These are some of the advantages that we can get. For example, talking about AI, when we want to know, when we are conducting a research, but we are unable to find out the resources, we don't know what the database is, what the platform is, then we can ask AI. It will give you the platform, it will give you the place where you can find out the resources for you. When you don't know about the, let's say, how can you make resources, how can you get access to resources, and how can you make utilize resources in a quick time? You can do that work by using ICT. So ICT is always beneficial, and ICT can be useful for you to make AI practically implemented in your what research work, right? That's why these are the benefits. Everything has both pros and cons. We talk about the pros, now we're talking about the cons. One of the cons, one of the disadvantages that ICT provides us is if as a researcher we use ICT falsely, then it can degrade our research work. Not only our research work, even us is a me or you as a researcher also will get a degraded if you use ICT falsely. That's why you do ICT wisely and correctly, right? For example, if you find out one resource on in any of the database online, you might copy it and you may rename it with your research work, and you as a researcher may publish it. It may not be making you a researcher, rather it will give you another platform. Sorry, it might lead you towards another dark corner of the world, that is the prisons. It's what you call plagiarism, right? So plagiarism is another disadvantage that people might get into with the help of ICT. So ICT is one of the major disadvantages in the field of research work is plagiarism. People might use it for copying somebody else work and making it as their own. It can in this way be disadvantageous for people to use ICT. Likewise, use of AI. Use of AI has both advantage and disadvantage. When you use wisely, it has lots of beneficial, let's say, advantages for you. But if you use it unwisely, it may create so many problems for you. For example, as I've said already, when you are conducting a research on a certain topic and you want to find out you want to find out the platform from where you can get the resources. That's the advantage of the use of AI. That's the use of AI. That's a wise use of AI. But if you ask AI to give you the let's say the thesis work itself, you ask the AI to provide you some questionnaire for the research work. It may not be the wise use of AI. That's what is the disadvantage. The use of AI can create a big problem for researcher to become a researcher. That's why it's a big problem for everybody. That's why we do not use AI as a platform from here you can get the questionnaire, you can get the data, you can get the data analysis, you can get so many things. If we use AI for in this way, it may not be validates your research work, it may not be helpful for you to make your research work authentic, it may not be converting you into a researcher. That's why use AI for its benefit. Likewise, if you use ICT for a long time, a lot, it can create a health issue as well. So if you don't want to if you don't want to create any kinds of health issue out of the ICT, you need to use ICT wisely. That's why That's why ICT can become a big problem, right? So it can create a health issue, health hazard also. For example, when you use ICT or let's say laptop or computer for example, for a long period of time, it can create some problem in your eyes. It can become some problem with your your thinking skills as well. That's why be very productive and be conscious regarding health as well. This is another advantage that ICT may create you. Likewise, spoil the valuable time. When you use ICT a long time for only one purpose, that is called entertainment, that a lot of people use, it can spoil your valuable time. That's why use ICT wisely. Do not spoil your valuable time by using ICT for entertainment only. Use ICT for your better understanding of the world, for better understanding of the knowledge, for a better understanding of the reality of the world. That's why if you use these different platforms for your own benefit, yeah, they are very beneficial. But if you don't, it can create a big problem for you. That's why be serious about it. So these are some of the disadvantages that I think are of the ICT. Now way forward, what should we do to get into with ICT? For me, the first thing is that the advancement in the use of ICT for a better research is what we need to get into. We need to advance. We need to get into the use of ICT in an advanced way so that we will be able to create ourselves as a better researcher. We would be able to get our research work better and better. Once our research work and the way we do research gets better, we always will open up the platforms, open up the range of sites for our betterment. Likewise, you utilizing the ICT tools in everyday life. When we are using ICT tools in everyday life, it always is beneficial. That's why use ICT in everyday life. Once you are able to use ICT in everyday life, you would be even be very easily be capable of using ICT in your research work, in your study, in your everyday life as well. That's why use ICT in everyday life so that you would be able to make ICT into your research work and get help research work with the help of ICT, ranging from typing the documents, ranging from typing the documents to analyzing the data and keeping safe. Because when you write in the paper, you may place your paper somewhere. But if you write in the ICT tools like a laptop or desktop, it would be there forever with you in a cloud form or within the hardware, within the laptop itself as well. That's why we need to utilize ICT tools as much as possible. Next one is coping with the ICT rather than running away from it. We need to be able to learn how ICT is to use. We need to be able to how to use different software, different hardware platforms of ICT rather than running away from it. If you want to evolve ourselves as a better researcher, but when we want to evolve ourselves as a better researcher, we need to be able to use ICT, cope with ICT. Difficulties are there, of course, initially, but if we face them, solve them, and move ahead, we would be able to become what advanced user of ICT. But if you run away from here, from ICT, you may not be able to utilize different kinds of softwares, different kinds of ICT platforms that can be helpful for you in your research work, in your research field. That's why learning ICT, coping with ICT is what we need to think about, not running away from it. And the other one is awareness of researchers. All the researchers should be aware about the correct and healthy use of ICT. When we are aware about the correct use of ICT, when we are aware about the healthy use of ICT, it always will give us benefit. But if we are not aware about it, then it can create a problem. Why? Because unknowingly we might have been using ICT wrongly. As I said already earlier, when you use AI for finding the data, when you use AI for finding the what let's say analysis, when you use AI for questionnaire, it can be what no awareness. It can be incorrect use of ICT. It can be unhealthy use of ICT. But when you use AI for finding the resources, finding the platform from here, you can analyze your data. Finding the platform from here, you can get different kinds of helpful resources for analyzing your data. This is a wise use of AI, wise use of ICT. That's why researchers should be aware. Researchers should be aware about what is the correct and healthy ways of using ICT. That's how we all need to think about